CES 2026 has come to a close, and there was a lot to see during this year's show. This isn't necessarily a vlog of my time in Las Vegas, but I did make my first real travel video at the end of last year. I'm gonna go ahead and link that above and below, make sure you check it out. But I did want to share a couple of things up top. First off, the convention center, the LVCC, had a massive glow up. The outdoor area leading into the central hall used to be a scrum of people and cars trying to get in and out, but they completely redid the entrance and cars are no longer allowed. It meant walking into the show was less stressful than ever before, and it looks pretty nice to boot. That was really cool. Vegas also has a ton to offer outside of the strip, and getting a chance to do some more local stuff is always high on my priority list. Obviously, you know me, it's all about the food. Shouts out to all of the friends for hanging out among all the craziness and getting some of my favorite tacos from Tacos El Gordo, and then delicious ramen at a spot that Jaime Rivera and I go to every single year at the end of the show. I often feel like the only person that really enjoys Las Vegas compared to all of my tech peers who kind of dread coming to CES every year, but I always tell them, it's because the food in Vegas can really hit. But that's not what we're here for. With so many products being shown off during the Consumer Electronics Show, it's really hard to pick a favorite. So in this video, I'm going to share some of my favorites, expressed in a way that you might expect from an episode of Tech and Tea. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? Here are my favorite items from CES 2026, or better put, here's what was my cup of tea. I have to start things off pretty crazy here with Razer's most eye-catching announcement, Project AVA. Yes, this is a real product. Obviously, AI and robots were all the rage at this year's CES, but the gamer in me was a bit smitten by this concept, and I'm really interested to try it out IRL. Project AVA is a little AI-powered capsule that actually projects a hologram of an avatar that will literally talk to you. On the surface, it's like having a little waifu or husbando. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. On your desk right next to your already existing RGB everything Razer products, but it is trying to be more than just another gaming peripheral. Project AVA will actually use a built-in camera to detect you, conversate with you, and have enough access to services and information that you give it in order to provide real-time contextual responses. Razer's marketing actually shows it helping the person pick out an outfit, while actually changing into a comparable outfit of its own to match. But it's really a way of putting personality to all of the AI capabilities that you are probably really familiar with, and maybe even a little sick of, depending on how you feel about that kind of tech. Personally, I think it's really fun, and usually Razer brings a lot of concepts to CES, but this time, AVA is actually available for pre-order right now. You can have it sitting right on your desk and ask it just about anything with proper AI-generated responses giving you the same information you might already be trying to get from a smartphone or a smart speaker. And of course, it helps with gaming as well, with AVA tapping into whatever you might be playing and giving advice on how to do better.
Boost control to 70 plus with vertical grip and light barrel. It'll be mid-range duels. Lock and load.
We are always trying to make AI make sense to people, and maybe Razer has the right idea to just make it something that is as easy on the eyes as possible. Take that last sentence however you wish. Still, you can't deny it's really cool, and that's why Razer's Project AVA is my cup of tea. Over at the Samsung area, which wasn't actually at the LVCC this year, the brand presented a ton of their new products and announcements. Lo and behold, I would see an update to an old friend of mine, the Samsung Freestyle projector. As someone who prefers projectors over TVs more these days, a really portable one can actually be quite useful for multiple scenarios. I certainly have quite a few friends who asked me to borrow my old Freestyle for get-togethers and presentations. The Freestyle Plus improves almost everything while maintaining a design that encourages the portability. It's a little bigger though, and that is due to a better sound system that I unfortunately couldn't really test out in the loud area that was Samsung's showroom. But the projection is what it's all about, of course. The brightness output is about double that of the previous editions, which is already a plus. But the other focus here is maintaining a proper shape to the projection no matter what surface it is being pointed at. The demo showed off a few different scenarios. First off, the usual automatic keystoning from one size of screen to another. Going from one small screen to another, the Freestyle Plus will detect that shift and quickly find the boundaries of the new screens, fitting the image perfectly in it. But the rest of the demos were even cooler. Let's say you have like a white curtain, and the wavy nature of it would not be ideal for projectors. The Freestyle Plus will actually modify its projection in order to make sure that the 16:9 aspect ratio looks more or less like the straight up rectangle it is supposed to be. And even cooler, the feature will recognize wall corners and try to achieve the same result. This is pretty dope because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there who wish they could use a projector while out and about, but they don't have enough wall space. That's fine, you could just point it pretty much anywhere, and without fiddling with the settings a ton, you can get a usable image. Speaking of wall space, the OptiScreen can also detect things like frames and wall art and shift the projection around them, almost making the image look like it was made to be neatly arranged with everything else. Ease of use has to be a big part of portable projectors like the Freestyle Plus, and I think Samsung actually achieved a lot of that in this latest edition. And I would say that it's easy to call that level of thought my cup of tea. Alright, well, the tea is ready. I just wanted to keep things simple. This is the first tea break that I've done in a while. Today's tea is actually from Japan. This right here is a Japanese oolong from a place called Sencha-do in Ginza in Tokyo. I gotta tell you, I've not really had a Japanese oolong before, but it's very nice, it's mellow, and it is much like the typical oolongs that you might have, only it's just got a little bit more of that delicate nature to it. But for this tea break, which I haven't done in a while, I just want to remind all of you of a couple of things while I evoke words I say in pretty much every single video. Main one being, please take care of yourselves and each other. It's a crazy time, and there's been a lot of distressing news, especially since I was out in Las Vegas for CES last week, and I just want to remind all of you, make sure you take care of yourselves and each other. I mean the people around you, the people who you care about the most, the people immediately around you, family and friends and so forth, because while the news cycle and social media might take our attention away from a lot of things, allow me to remind you, there are still things in your life that are worth paying the right level of attention to and caring for. That's why I say, please take care of yourselves and each other at the end of every single video. Another thing I say in the videos usually is, what's going on, everybody? This is a check-in to start off the year with this first video coming out of CES 2026. I want to know, how are you all doing? Let me know in the comments. Feel free to just talk about whatever you wish, whether it's the products in this video or how you're feeling. That's why I say, what's going on, everybody? Go ahead and do that. And yeah, look forward to more tea breaks in this upcoming year. This is going to be a long one, so make sure you get a cup right now since I'm talking about my favorites from CES 2026. After all, I hope you come for the tech, but you stay for the tea. I just talked about projectors, but that's not to say TVs didn't get a lot of love because CES is always chock full of them. And one that really impressed me was the TCL X11L SQD Mini LED. SQD meaning super quantum dot, but TCL really put some work into making sure that this new quantum dot system provides the same level of detail and brightness meaning 10,000 nits peak brightness, while achieving black levels and vivid colors that are right in line with OLED TVs. That's due in part to TCL's attention to the color filter, which is a layer that is found on all TVs, but is greatly enhanced in this one. The color filter caters the colors dot by dot and per dimming zone so that the vibrancy is high, while minimizing the kind of crosstalk that colors might have in a television and the kind of blooming that you might see in quantum dot or other systems. TCL's demos actually showed the differences between these various technologies and how SQD kind of elevates above it, but I wasn't really able to film all of that stuff. Let's just say that while there are a lot of other types of televisions, including RGB or micro RGB out there that are trying to push the envelope, TCL's X11L really does a good job of addressing quite a few of the viewing concerns that all those other technologies might introduce. The result is one of the best images I've seen pumped out of a panel, one that is actually hitting the 100% of the BT 2020 color space, which is kind of unheard of until now. Good daily use and enjoyment is really what a good TV is all about though, and given the premium nature of the X11L, it's probably just a given that the image is gonna look really good. What was my real cup of tea with the X11L is the sound experience. Now we all know that built-in speakers on televisions tend to be quite meh. It's hard to achieve rich sound when the overall product has to remain really slim. But now, while the X11L might not be the slimmest television shown off at CES, I have one later in this video to show you, the sound coming out of it without the help of something like a soundbar or speaker set quite literally blew me away. Even at the demo, we watched a really busy and loud action clip, and then the presenter picked the soundbar right up and revealed it wasn't even plugged in. That was wild. Sound is supported by Bang & Olufsen and can be used alongside connected audio, so you can really go crazy here. This whole thing is not cheap obviously, but it shows us how far TVs can still go, and TCL's SQD tech on display here was a great example of that. Now, from huge TVs to wearable displays, we hit the projector glasses side of things with what XREAL brought to CES. I actually have been using their latest announced product, the XREAL 1S, for a little while before CES, and these are an incremental, to be fair, but worthwhile upgrade from the XREAL 1. The 1S retains the same chip built in that made the one of my favorite travel gadgets of 2025. That X1 chip provides a lot of features that other glasses require an extra accessory for, like smooth image movement via 3DOF and real 3D content no matter what you're watching. The 1S increases the resolution of the dual micro OLED displays to 1200p while maintaining the 120Hz refresh rate and all of the settings that achieve features like ultra-wide screen viewing and display anchoring. It also comes with a new accessory that is a docking solution complete with charging, the XREAL Neo. This is the accessory you'll want for keeping the good times going since it also acts like a power bank. However, it is also the way that you'll finally be able to use glasses like these with a Nintendo Switch 2. But speaking of gaming, XREAL actually partnered up with ASUS to make the ROG XREAL R1. Leave it up to ROG to up the ante. Now that said, the resolution of the R1 is 1080p, but then they go ham on the refresh rate, blasting it up to 240Hz. To be fair, that high refresh rate is achieved at top resolution with the help of a dock that I actually didn't film because I was too busy having fun playing Forza Horizon on the demo unit. That dock will connect to the glasses and provide output with enough power to achieve that 240Hz. Otherwise, the glasses would have to cut down on the resolution to reach that high refresh rate if you want to use it on its own. The dock can switch between two HDMI inputs, so you have a little bit of a KVM situation going on here. So clearly this is like the wearable version of ROG's heavy-duty gaming monitors, and it's all in a set that actually feels pretty dang comfortable to wear. The R1 feel a little bit lighter actually than the XREAL 1S, and they fit nice and snug on my head while looking pretty dang stylish. There are even glowing lights on the sides. Like with the 1S, these glasses can simply plug into any display-capable USB-C port, making it a great companion to ASUS's own Xbox Ally X handheld gaming PC. Honestly, it's a bit of a tough choice between the higher resolution and more general purpose driven XREAL 1S, or the super gamer forward but quite comfortable stylings and capabilities of the ROG XREAL 1. So I'll just go ahead and say that altogether, what XREAL brought to the table here is my cup of tea. We stick with ASUS for a while more to talk about their updates to my old friend, the ZenBook Duo. I have to thank all of you because my IG reel on the previous edition of this dual screen laptop went absolutely viral and still gets hits, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. But I do genuinely love how ASUS achieves the two screen madness here. And now it's gotten the proper design treatment because the still pretty slim Duo is sporting ASUS's signature Ceraluminum material on the outer shell. Intel's new Panther Lake processor powers this latest edition, and ASUS's continued efforts to provide their Lumina OLED panels basically everywhere makes this a fun laptop to use for all kinds of work and play. It is a ZenBook, so productivity is its main focus, and it remains comfortable to do it all with screens that have very little separation between them and with a magnetic Bluetooth keyboard that has been easy to type on and to use comfortably for editing the very video that I made showcasing the full ZenBook lineup announced at CES. It's great to work on one screen and have something else playing or tracking my time in the other, not to mention using one screen to check my video editing in full screen was another use case. Also, the trend of better speakers in laptops hits the ZenBook Duo as well, with richer sound than I would ever expect from something trying to be as thin and as slim as possible as this laptop is being. I've actually moved into the ZenBook Duo as my proper main laptop. It's perfectly fine to use as a single screen laptop, and then I literally have two monitors when it's time to sit down and kickstand the whole setup when I want to get extra and lock in. To support that part of the workflow and to do some proper gaming, however, I will admit to personally adding something to this whole setup, the latest ROG XG Mobile with the RTX 5070 Ti inside. This eGPU makes it so that I now have quite the battle/workstation whose two screens can actually come with me when I need them to. But to go real bonkers with the screens, you can go with the latest ROG Zephyrus Duo. Duo finally comes back to the Zephyrus lineup, only this time it's a pair of 16-inch Nebula HDR displays capable of 120Hz refresh rate. Intel Panther Lake comes back, but now is supported by an RTX 5090 that simply would not fit in the ZenBook, making this just as much a gaming powerhouse as it is a desktop replacement all on its own. Now the Zephyrus Duo is literally bigger and thicker than the ZenBook Duo that I'm calling home at the moment, but we'll see if that trade-off is something that I'm willing to make for that kind of dual screen power on the go. I'm certain that the charging brick will be massive to support the TGP of 135 watts though. It's hard not to be excited when you want more, and then a product comes to actually give you everything you might want. We'll see how the Zephyrus Duo fares if I ever do get my own time with it in the coming months. That being said, ASUS and ROG get a cheers from me for their portable dual screen ambitions at this year's CES. There are other ways to get more screen, however, and Lenovo really pushed those boundaries with two rollable concepts. The ThinkPad Rollable XD is a concept we did kind of see before, but continued improvements and more usable screen area make this vertically extending laptop quite the eye-catcher. From a 13.3-inch screen, you can actually extend it up to a 16-inch panel, and it literally rolls up in a fashion that can only be described as futuristic. That bit of screen that results up top is actually usable on the cover of the laptop as well, providing access to some features until it's time to actually get a bigger canvas. The roll-up also reveals some of the components inside the exposed area, and you know we like our transparent tech wherever we can get it. The OLED screen looks pretty cool and it's easy to be wowed by it in person, but the rest of the ThinkPad retains its more down-to-earth spirit, with the rest of the body retaining all the productivity-forward design and features. Okay, but what if you don't really want taller, you want wider? Well, that sounds like a job for the gaming psychos over at Lenovo's Legion division. Say hello to the Legion Pro rollable concept, which takes a similar approach to the ThinkPad Rollable XD, but then puts the gears on the sides of an already beefy and large laptop and display. The conventional 16:9 display widens out to a 21:9 aspect ratio at first, but then can actually go out to another mind-boggling 24:9 aspect via an almost 24-inch effective screen size when fully deployed. This is as wild as it is dope. I'm a fan of ultra-wide monitors, and the idea of having one built into a laptop is simply insane. Remember, this is a concept. We don't really know if this is something that will actually make it to market, but Lenovo have been known to make that happen in some capacity in the past. Perhaps we'll see a type of sideways rollable screen eventually, and I'll give them massive props if they can do it in a laptop that isn't as monstrous as the Legion Pro already is. That being said, the wow factor really did get me, and that is what CES is all about. Lenovo always delivers in that regard, and that's why these rollable concepts were my cup of tea. We can't forget about phones, and this is genuinely a phone. I'll explain in a little bit, but let's visit the friends over at Clix for a look at their keyboard-toting products. First up is the Power Keys, a one-accessory-fits-all solution to the way that previous Clix cases only worked with specific phones. Instead, a MagSafe wireless charging area connects to iPhones, Pixels, and any adapted phones, and then slides up to give any phone the ability to live that BlackBerry past. Getting most of the screen real estate back while adding tactility are the name of the game here, with wireless charging being a nice added feature. Since it's a Bluetooth keyboard, however, it is something that you can use with other products. But what exactly is a phone supposed to do? Communicate. And when I looked at the Clix communicator, I thought that was going to be all it did. Now, it's not a bad thing to prioritize. A device that keeps things simple and lets you just respond to messages and emails above all else. That actually sounds like a good purpose-driven product. But the Clix communicator is actually a full-fledged smartphone with full Android capabilities, making it possible to take this supposed secondary smartphone out as your primary. The units I demoed were powered off, but knowing that the communicator uses a collaborated version of the Niagara launcher means that accessing all of those apps will be easy and elegant. And the notification LED built into the custom Clix key on the side is a wonderful touch of nostalgic practicality. I'm excited to see how this literal new player in the smartphone space will turn out, and I can't wait to try using this phone as my genuine main for a while. Clix keeps the keyboard lovers in mind, and I gotta give them a cheers for that. So those were some of my favorites that I saw at CES, but there are some honorable mentions that I want to give some time to. These are products or demos that either might have been out for a bit already, or information on them are incredibly scarce still. With that in mind, I still want to pour one out for some of the other fun things I saw during the show. Let's ease into things here with a product that has actually already been out for a bit, but CES was the first time I finally had some time with it. Samsung is already doing well with the Z lineup, with the most recent Z Fold 7 selling the best out of their large format foldables so far, but we're finally getting the full wide folding screen treatment with the Galaxy Z Trifold. Let me tell you, pictures and video don't really do this smartphone justice, and it's something you have to experience for yourself. Folded all the way up, it feels like a regular bar smartphone just like the Z Fold 7, but going full unfolded style reveals a huge tablet that provides a big canvas for multitasking or a big viewing screen for all kinds of media. Samsung has also done well to create a DeX-like experience when using the full tablet, with apps appearing as genuine windows that you can drag and position compared to the way that multitasking works traditionally in Android. On top of all of that, workspaces of those windows can be saved and easily accessed so that you can make one for work, one for messaging, one for media, and one with everything if you are so inclined. I will say though, an early gripe that I do have to mention here is how the Trifold only works in a big screen format when it is fully deployed. It would be nice if you could still get like a Z Fold 7-like screen when opening just 1/3 of it out. That and the fact that these folding phones tend to not have the best cameras tempers my excitement just a little bit, but not by much. We still have to pour one out for a all-screen all-the-time experience, and the Trifold is already providing that in places outside of the US. Here's to hoping I can put one in my pocket sooner rather than later. Speaking of folding phones, Motorola unveiled their entry into the large format foldable market with the Razer Fold. This is a foldable the way you probably know it. Proper regular screen up front, hiding a larger canvas within that single hinge. What gets me excited for the Razer Fold is what Moto tends to bring to all their smartphones. Quick gestures to key functions like a chop to turn on the flashlight or a twist of the wrist to open the camera, as well as plenty of ecosystem connectivity with features like Ready For and the AI that they were announcing at CES. One pleasant surprise was how thin and light the Moto Razer Fold feels, which might make it a comfortable foldable to use on the daily. Now, further details are still quite scarce on the Razer Fold, but it's great to see another player enter the US foldable space, and that's why I'm pouring one out for the Moto Razer Fold. Many of you have clocked that I've been wearing my Pebble 2 Duo basically all the time these days, and I couldn't be happier that the brand and their products are back. I'm going to make a video on the Pebble 2 Duo soon, so make sure you subscribe to my channel to know when that video comes out. But Pebble is certainly not slowing down, because just before CES they announced the latest round variant of their smartwatches, complete with a color e-paper touchscreen to give the whimsical but practical OS the same reliability I've been enjoying on the Duo. By the way, I know all of the footage that I got of these products is vertical. I just thought I was going to make a social media post about it, but I had to pour one out for the Pebble Round 2. It's a very stylish smartwatch, coming in a few different colors to complement virtually any style. The old Pebble Time Round still stands as one of my favorite smartwatches of all time, and it's great to see a new one come out with virtually no bezels and more screen. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta go pre-order one. But for now, I'll pour one out for the Pebble Round 2. A final item to pour one out for comes from LG with their wallpaper TV. Here is a 100-inch TV that I'd love to adorn my apartment wall, because it would make that wall a sight to behold. And that is achieved by LG's returning wireless connectivity that allows you to hide consoles and other media products somewhere else, while the Zero Connect box they are connected to transmits a 4K signal capable of 165Hz refresh rate to the OLED. LG's Evo AI and the processor built in balance high brightness and vivid colors in a panel that is just 9mm thick and requires just one cable to hide due to those wireless capabilities. And while it might still be a huge TV up on the wall, a little bit of creativity can make it blend in and basically disappear until it's time to actually treat it like a proper television. LG have done wireless TVs before, and they've done super thin TVs before, but putting them all together makes for a TV I'd actually be really glad to sit down and watch, and maybe even just admire when I'm not enjoying movies and games on it. And so, there you have it. I drank so many cups of tea while filming this video. This is actually the second time I've had to do this, and it's a long one. I'm actually feeling kind of the jitters from the Japanese oolong. But you know what? That's actually how I kind of felt, seeing all of these cool things coming out of CES 2026. Now, I want to pass it off to you. Let me know what you thought of the announcements and items coming out of CES in the comments downstairs, and you can look forward to more content from the show, as I'm making a ton of short-form content for shorts here on my channel and across social media. Make sure you follow me everywhere. From there, though, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for pouring one out with me today. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody.